Bezat Hashem, B'Siyata D'Shmaya. Today we're gonna continue with the Mitzvoth the Oraita. Today is the Rosh Chodesh, the first day of the week, the first day of the month of Shvat already, Baruch Hashem, the 11th month of the year, and as the Rabbi said, pointed out yesterday, the day of Chazara. The first the Torah mentions actually, Ho'il that Moshe Rabbeinu repeated the whole Torah on the 40th year, the 11th month, on Rosh Chodesh. This was today. So that's somebody asks you, maybe a hint from the Doraita. How do you know you're supposed to repeat the Torah? What's the mitzvah of Chazara? Maybe we see here that there's a hint that the Torah explicitly tells us that Chazara is very important, to repeat constantly what you have learned. So today today is also happens to be Thursday, the 5th day of the week of Parshat Shabbat Bo. The mitzvot of today, mitzvah number 205. So we said yesterday there's an element that a man is not allowed to marry a woman, a woman's granddaughter from her son's side. Today the mitzvah 205 is a man is allowed to marry his wife's granddaughter from her daughter's side. That's the mitzvah number 205. And mitzvah number 206, prohibition of marrying two sisters while they're both alive. Meaning, even if he divorces one, we know that there is a big element that's very, very important and very advisable that a man marries his dead wife's sister, because we know that the best thing that the best mother, the stepmother, is going to be the sister, the aunt of the children. She will not, chas v'shalom, disgrace or she will not abuse the children from a different woman. As we know that women are very kanaot, the women are very jealous, and they could be more protective of their children over the children of another woman. But Chachamim tell us that if chas v'shalom, one man's wife dies, and she happens to be she has a single sister, and you have children from the previous wife, that a man should marry, try to do everything, marry the second sister, because this way his children will be protected and cared for with full love. So mitzvah number 206 prohibits us, because you might think, oh, here, why should I take another wife from the street? Here, Yaakov Avinu took two wives, why two sisters? What's the problem? So the Torah will discuss today why it's a problem, and B'ezrat Hashem there is a prohibition. Okay, let's go with 205 quickly. The Torah prohibits us to marrying granddaughter of your wife from the daughter's side. אמרנו שאיסור זה בנישואי הראשונה, שנאמר ואת בת ביתה לא תיקח, בלשון תקיחה משמע לשון נישואין. So in order, like we said yesterday, in order for a Beit Din to punish somebody with death penalty, it has to be with a marriage, contract of marriage, that he took the granddaughter over here. As we said yesterday, why is it chal? Why is it chal? That's a good question. Maybe it's erva, should not be chal, but looks like maybe it is chal over here. Okay? Not everybody agrees that it doesn't chal. Okay. The prohibition is as follows. The sages added to this that bat beta bilvad. So the Rabbanim have also prohibited the wife's child's, the stepdaughter's granddaughter from the daughter's side, right? That's the Rabbanan already. Bat bita bilvat. So that's just there. So meaning basically, if a man has a stepdaughter from his wife, and then that stepdaughter has the granddaughter from her daughter, right? So that's going to be the Rabbanan. Right there, it's going to be the Rabbanan already. Meaning from there and on, so this granddaughter, that means the fifth generation will be already allowed to marry him. Okay, for whatever reason. Ve'em ishto bilvad. So too, that the grandmother's mother will be also the Rabbanan already. That means higher than that, it will be allowed to marry if you want. Whatever. Ve'em av em ishto bilvad. So ve'em av em ishto. So you have the mother of the father of your wife. Ve'em av em ishto. So you have, so it means that the third generation up from the father's side. בלבד, that will be prohibition of the רבנן. כלל העניין של איסור אישה וביתה או בת בנה ובת ביתה, כי התורה תאסור לאדם מלישא 6 קרובות של אשתו מלבד האחות. Okay, so the Torah prohibits 6 isurim, so 3 up and 3 down, except for a sister. 3 למעלה, דהיינו אימה ושתי זקנותיו. So it's going to be, what is the 3 up? The mother and 2 up, going up with the grandmothers. ו3 למטה and 3 down, going down. That's according to Torah. דהיינו בתה, as we already explained. בחכמים, however, the חכמים הוסיפו עליהן גם כן לגדל 6 אחרות. So the Rabbanim went and added 6 more, right? What does that mean? 4 למעלה. So it will be, they will go only upwards 4 times. ו2 למטה and 2 more up, down. So again, 4 up going up and okay. ככן ייעוד העניין להיות בכרת. Because all those things are close, the punishment of karet, of this disintegrating of the soul. So therefore the חכמים are more מחמיר בבית. ושתי הזקנות גוררות 4 אחרות לגדר להן. What happened was the rabbis, the Torah gives us the two upper, the grandmothers. They will be, I guess they're closer. The rabbis will be closer to them, 2 additionals. So that way, somebody open the door. Okay. אבל בת בנה ובת ביתה. However, the daughter of her son, of his wife's son, ובת ביתה, or the daughter of her daughter, אי אפשר להן לגדור אלא 2 כמותן. So there, the rabbis will not need to prohibit more, only the ones that are immediate right after them, like them. והאם והבת אין להוסיף עליהן לגדר. והאם והבת אין להוסיף עליהן לגדר, שהרי יש נשים אסורות מן התורה למתן ולמעלן עין בדבר. So now, the Chachamim were a little bit more lenient with the reference to, so again, the grands, once we started going to the grands, the Rabbanim were, what's his name? They added some restrictions. However, when it comes to the immediate wife, the mother and her daughter, there, since the Torah anyway prohibits krovot that are in the vicinity of those age-wise, so there the Rabbanim didn't have to add already because they're already anyway asur. There's anyway isur gamur in that. Now, the prohibition is constantly and it doesn't change with time. So a man goes and does this avira, marrying a woman and then the granddaughter of his wife. If his wife is originally still alive, whichever one, it could be the granddaughter is alive, so he does the sin, whoever he does the sin, they both get burnt. However, if his first wife is dying, it doesn't matter which one, if they did it on purpose, they get karet, not killed by the din. If by mistake, they bring a korban. Now if he went where the rabbinical prohibitions are, the Rabbanan could give him lashes as much as possible until he does teshuvah. Bezat Hashem, now with that the 206 is going to be obviously a little bit more interesting, more tricky, because in reality we are a product, right? Leah and Rachel, we are the product of this marriage, and more than that, Zilpah and Bilhah were also sisters. So Bilhah, Zilpah, Rachel, Rivka, they were all four of them were sisters actually. The only difference was that Rachel and Leah were twins from one mother, and Bilhah and Zilpah were from Pelegish. Were not real marriages in Lavan, but they were Pelegish, meaning a secondary wife that Lavan had, and those were the Zilpah and Bilhah. So in reality, all 4 sisters they're all sisters, and they're all married to one man. So how do we and that's where we come from, right? Again, we already justified that because in reality, before Matan Torah, there was a different element. If you think about it for a second, you'll notice that the whole world is from the brother and sister, right? Hashem only created Adam and Chava. So how else would there was reproduction? So the first 2,000 years before Matan Torah, Kadosh Baruch Hu had this allowance where there would be the marrying brothers and sisters in order to have this element of creation of the world, in order to have people. Otherwise, it will be impossible. And a very simple. If somebody is going to ask a question, so why didn't Hashem create two already? Just to make it easier for everybody, in order to this way it makes sense with the Torah. So again, if we were to create it two, there would be a bigger problem of what people will say, that there's two powers in this world. So Hashem therefore created only one in order to minimize that problem. So I guess it's better for Kadosh Baruch Hu that the brother and sister would build this world than Chas v'Shalom created two different entities, where in reality that would give a bigger problem to the whole world, and that will mislead the person, the world. But right now, there is no misleading. Okay, so let's see. Mitzvah number 206. Shelo lavo al shtei achayot. A man is prohibited to be with two sisters. Klamar, shelo yisa adam shtei achayot biyachad. He will prohibited to marry two sisters at once. Velo afilu zo achar zo, and not even one after the other. B'chayei harishona. As long as the first one that he divorced is still alive. If he divorced her, that will be prohibited the same way. ואפילו גירשה לראשונה, שנאמר, ואישה אל אחותה לא תיקח, because the Torah says specifically, a man el achota. Oh, now there is a, what's his name? The Torah added a two-letter word. A woman el achota, while, with the letter aleph lamed, over here means while you still, or adding to the first sister. So a woman adding to her first sister, that is prohibited. Which really means over there that the Torah tells us you're not allowed to marry your first one while she's alive. So the rabbis explained that it means over there that a man is not allowed to marry with another sister while he's married to the first one. Lotika. Okay, lashon tzara. So what's the tzaror? The pasuk means letzaror. So what does that mean? It means tzara. As we know that a woman, as we said, the women are very jealous, and they have this element of jealousy. So they asked Baba Sari, why are you married to three wives? Why, tzaror. Rabbeinu Gershom made the nidui, and he made the whole. He put people in cherem. If somebody marries two wives, because Rabbeinu Gershom, by the way, had a big problem. You know that, right? The whole story over there, where his wife did not have children, and he married one of his business partner's daughter. And it happened to be that business partner's daughter, she was did not want to marry rabbi. She wanted to marry. She had her eyes actually on a general son of the army in France. This is a Jewish girl who was actually a little bit more spoiled than you're supposed to. Don't spoil your children, people. Don't give them anything they want. It's amazing, right? So this daughter was unfortunately spoiled, and she's the one who in the end caused a lot of problems for Rabbeinu Gershon. They sentenced him to death because of her. So Rabbeinu Gershon, over there goes a story that we came out. They said there was a dispute between two wives. So he said, why continue? The generation is going down, and the woman can't handle, and the women don't understand the purpose of this creation. The purpose of this creation is to bring Mashiach and Ben David Ba, and there's not gonna bring him Ben David until there are enough children born in this world, right? The Goyim are. That's why Christianity came with this idea: don't marry more than one woman, because unfortunately in America, also the whole world today, government, you're allowed to have 30 girlfriends, and every night a different girlfriend, but you cannot have more than one wife. And the purpose of that is very simple. When you have a girlfriend, the girlfriend does not want to have a children there because she wants to have freedom. She wants to have intercourse, have fun, have her pleasure, and go to work without any responsibilities. But a man marries, and the understanding of marriage is to bring the next generation. And obviously, the more the merrier. What many people don't understand is they think they're going to bring one child and they're going to give their dedication fully to that one child, but they don't realize that in reality, the world works the other way. The more children you have, the more prosperity, the more success with the children you have, in reference to educating the proper Torah, proper element of life. Children always will learn easier how to share, how to care, how to do everything. But if with Chas v'Shalom one child that gets spoiled, two children they even get more spoiled, and three children even worse. Okay, if you're Michiganer, bring as many as possible because people understand that the rabbis tell us that if you have 25 children, you'll have the same exact element of suffering if you had one child. You imagine yourself? So, okay. Now, so over there, that's what the Rabbeinu Gershon decreed, that it's tzaror. It's, you see, Torah agrees that there is tzar. So the Asma Basari, so why you have 3 wives? So he said, you don't understand. 2 wives, they fight, they bicker. 3, they don't bicker anymore. 3 wives, they don't bicker. Khalas, they understood. Their goal is, why would a woman agree to marry to a man with another wife? Because she understands her goal is to help her husband to achieve the ultimate the turnaround from the marriage. What is that? To become Gdolador. He has to come closer to Hashem. He has to illuminate Hashem, and obviously, with more wives, that could be achieved because there's more children, there's more care, more of the after Racha Kamocha. And second, so a woman understands that not everything is just for me. Not everything is just for me. And in reality, that's the way it is. Look at the what's his name. I understand that today they're gonna say, "Hey, look at the Arabs; they have more than one wife, and they're mistreating their girls." It's not true. Okay, it's not true. What's his name? That if somebody is smart and okay, let's just say that Osama bin Laden had 89 kids from 12 wives. Okay, and if you take a look, the documentaries that they released a little bit, he lived like a king. He lived like a king over there, and Baruch Hashem, and he was thinking, you can't have what would you say, a woman to get raped and they have children? Yeah, it's true. But again, the society cannot exist. Look at the Muslim world, over 1 billion people. How you think abused? Yeah, they abuse their wives and that. Do me a favor. There's a lot of brainwashing going around. There's a lot of brainwashing going on. You can't have a wife because in reality, let's really assess it for a second. How many men being murdered by their wives in the Muslim world? In the American world, there's plenty. The movies left and right. The stories left and right. Women cutting off this, poisoning their husbands. Right? What do you think is going on in the Muslim world? If the Muslims were beating up their wives, what's the problem? You have 15 wives, or 10 wives. He would still be alive today? The thing doesn't make sense. The whole brainwashing that's going on there, the lies. Not Adarabah. There's more peace, there's more prosperity, and there's more Dishmaya. Why? Because the purpose of this world is to create next generation. If you think about it. Okay? And that's why we have all this Isurim of Arayot, all this Isurim of Erva. Because a person will not want to have children with his mother-in-law, and he will not want to have children with his sister-in-law while his wife is alive. People will talk about it. He doesn't want that. It's a shameful thing. So therefore the Torah prohibits it. Now, לשון צרה. כלומר, כדי שלא תעשה האחת צרה להדברתה, so the Torah tells us that we have to be very meticulous, that even that now there will be, it's naturally for a woman to be jealous of another woman. Here you're going to bring the sisters to be jealous to each other. That's going to be, what's his name? That's already requesting for too much. As this, we're telling the woman, by the way, listen, you created to help your husband. And today it is the most unpopular thing to say, right? Rabbi, what are you talking about? And what most people are with the beards outside there today selling. And that's why there's so many divorces. People don't understand why we have so many divorces, because there's a big turnaround. We have people with beards that look like rabbis, and they put on tefillin, and they give shmuzim, and they give speeches, and they're brainwashing women all day. The husbands are here to help you. What? And then what happens in the end? Too much expectation, You're selling garbage, and you have in the end divorces left and right. Left and right. Men, in reality, cannot handle more than one topic at a time. Men could do one subject. A woman could do 15 to 20 subjects at one time. They're much more stronger, and they're much more ability in reference to that. They're not physically stronger, but they're mentally stronger. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu designed it that way, because who's going to help who? The one who is ability to help is stronger, or the one who gets weaker? Obviously, the one who needs to. So who created whom for what? Hashem says clearly, "Naaseh lo ezer kenegdo." It's a woman's job to make sure that her man become rabbi, become Hashem in this world. That's the woman's job. "Aseh lo ezer kenegdo." What does kenegdo mean in Hebrew? When you stand next to your mirror, what is that in Hebrew? Ata omed keneged amara. You're standing opposite the mirror. So a woman's job is to what? To help her husband to become Hashem in this world. It's actually brought down 8 psukim in the Torah, just like much as tefillin. You know, tefillin is 8 psukim, right? But it's again, what is that? 4 for the head, 4 for the hand. But it's 8 times in the Torah. Lehidamot, we are obligated to emulate a Kadosh Baruch Hu. 8 times in the Torah that tells us this pasuk is mentioned again and again and again. And whose job is that? That's the woman's job. How can the woman do that? How can the woman do that? Because she could go involved in marriage where it could help a man to do what he is unable to do himself. As we saw, Lo tov la'adam liot levado. What does the pasuk say? It's not good for the man to be by himself. What is good? En tov ela Torah. So Hashem said, if a man is not here with a woman, he can't learn Torah. The Chachamim tell us the title of a rabbi, Ben Azai. Ben Azai and Ben who? Ben Azai and what's the next one? No. There were 2 Chachamim. They're not called rabbis. One of the reasons is because they are not married. Ben Zoma. Thank you. Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon Ben Azai. Rabbi Shimon. Both Shimon. But they were what? Not married. The title of a rabbi was taken away from them. A person wants to serve Hashem and he doesn't want to get very busy with a wife. It's not your business. It's not your decision. It's not your decision. So Ben Azai, Ben Azai and Ben Zoma forever le'olam le'alme almamim will be remembered, not by their first names even. Not even mention their first names. Why? Because they didn't fulfill Hashem's will in this world. We are obligated to get married and to build a family. Of course, that's not possible without a wife. So now, imagine yourself, a man divorces his wife and then marries his sister. What could be more tzara than that? They're not bickering, they're not tzara, they're not suffering to each other, but what could be worse? A man wears, the sister will be coming and visiting each other. What is that? Right? There's going to be Sheva Brachot, there's going to be Brit Milah, there's going to be events, Bar Mitzvah, and imagine all those things. Therefore, the rabbis tell us the Torah prohibits it. Now, now, after the death of a wife, right? That's allowed. Why? Because the Torah tells us while she's alive, so again, the same thing, a person goes ahead and commits the crime and he violates his, not violates, he goes into bed with her sister, which is very, very, unfortunately, it's not unheard of. It's not unheard of because remember, if you don't have Torah and the sister comes to help out at home many times, she comes to help and Rahman al-Islam, they get too acquainted. They get left alone, or the mitzvot of the yichud is not careful. There things happen, right? So over there, that's going to be sur. Okay. Okay. Okay, we already explained all this. Okay, so now, I know it's already too long, Baruch Hashem, at least we covered a little bit more. But again, when it's too long, I like to go on the side as I did, explaining the most biggest important element out of this is that we have to be very careful with caring for the other person's feelings, even though we have a Torah. And listen, what's the difference, right? I mean, maybe 5 sisters. I'm going to marry 5 sisters, and I'll build a bigger house, and I'll have this whole concept, right? But since that there is going to be a little of nidnud, of tsar, that's suffering, right? Let's say all 5 of them tzadikot. The Torah talks about them and gives us our names. What does that mean? They're holies. What would they want? Of course they want to bring the next world. So what's the difference with one husband, right? And Lechoira, you see that there is a heter after they're dead. After the first one's dead. But still, the Torah is so cautious that chas v'shalom, we should cause that little suffering. But you're going to say, wait a minute, but if I take another wife on my wife, that's also there's suffering, right? But over there is a heter, because as we already explained, that Shomrot, that they're going to protect the man from chas v'shalom avira. Today's generation, what's going on? today, if anything, today there should be allowance of three wives for sure, if anything. There's a period of 6 weeks after birth, the man cannot be with his wife. There's so many, or Chas v'Shalom, the one thing she's above everything she could. I have this, Rabbi, I'm not sleeping with my husband already 5 months. Why not? He doesn't appreciate me. What? So why are you causing yourself suffering? I tell her. You're causing yourself suffering. Yeah. For him, it's better not to sleep with you. But the best thing in the world, you is mamash. People don't understand. The man he lives longer, he is healthier physically if he doesn't sleep with a woman. You know that. If he doesn't have a desire, nobody exposes him. And I said, but you're the one who's suffering. You're causing yourself a suffering. You moneh, as I say, now this I'm going to end quickly. Take a look at the parasha of Man. Right? Take a parasha of the Man, and what's next to it? Parashat Shabbat. Okay? So in that Parashat B'Shalach, Kadosh Baruch Hu is very angry. Why is he angry? And Moshe Rabbeinu gets angry. But if you take a look, in the two elements, one of them is not angry, while the other one is. For instance, Moshe Rabbeinu gets very angry when the Jewish people left over man till tomorrow. Where Hashem, it was Isur Doraita. But when Shabbat came and they took out the man, he doesn't get angry. Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't get angry. Who gets angry? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But in the other end, when the people have over man, it's also Isur Doraita. Hashem doesn't get angry. Why? So it's both. Moshe Rabbeinu gets angry here, doesn't get angry here. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gets angry here, Moshe Rabbeinu doesn't get angry here. So what's going on? It's like this. The Torah tells us, however you guide your life, you are the guide to Hashem to tell him how you want him to care for you. Okay? So now, in order, what does it say about the man? It says like this. Ha'arbe lo yarbe. Ma'at lo yemit. You want out of the field and you see so much man. You took a whole wagon full. Your house needs only 5 pounds of man. You took a whole wagon full. As you enter your shar, the gate of your house, in your hand there's no wagon full. Only 5 pounds. Okay. Because what your family needs, that's what happened. That was a miracle. The guy goes out and he takes 5 pounds, but really he needs 100 pounds for his family. As soon as he goes to the threshold, that 5 pounds turns into 100 pounds. It's a miracle of man. So says Moshe Rabbeinu, in order for you to live till tomorrow, the man, what had to happen? In order for man to remain till tomorrow, what had to happen? What? No, not Shabbat. What had to happen to do Averan? Shabbat is a mitzvah. I'm talking about for tomorrow. There's some Jews who left man till tomorrow. Why is Moshe Rabbeinu angry? I'll tell you why. Because in order for you to live over man till tomorrow, the man, you didn't get more and didn't get less. So what had to happen? You didn't have to eat. Meaning you starved yourself yesterday. So what did Moshe Rabbeinu get angry? He says to people, what are you crazy people? What did you Jews do? You proved to Hashem it's okay to give us starvation. You told Hashem, we're fine with starvation. We got to be fine with starvation. So Moshe Rabbeinu got very angry. Now because tomorrow, Chas v'Shalom, something happens, why people are all of a sudden people asking for water, people asking for food. Why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, what do you mean? Why are you bothering? Why are you bothering me? You were okay with it. Just a little while ago you were okay. So Moshe Rabbeinu gets so angry with them. Why did you show Hashem that it's okay that if I starve? Same thing a woman. A woman says, I'm not sleeping with my husband. Right? So what do you say to Hashem? I have needs, but I don't need to fulfill them, Hashem. You know, it's okay. I'll be fine without it. What does Hashem do? All of a sudden her husband is sick. Oh, coma. He sits in coma for 7 years. The woman can't marry anybody. Makara. You told Hashem you were fine, right? For those few months you wanted to punish your husband. You were fine with that. So Hashem says, no problem. You could live without it. You know what's going on here? So I told this woman, you crazy? You're making your man, you're making yourself suffer, not the man. The man is the happiest man. He doesn't have to waste sperm on you anymore. He's going to live longer. Baruch Adonai Olam Amen. Amen. Zat Hashem should have nachat simcha. Zat Hashem only good things. And Zat Hashem will continue. Hopefully, Shabbat Shalom to those who are on YouTube.